Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for the final season of You. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Shall I leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on You, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, we are finally here at the end of this ride, and I gotta say, it's been a hell of a one. Now, I'm not going to be that person who's like, yeah, I've read every book in the series. I'll be quite frank with you. I did not know this was a series. I thought it was just one book, and then they went on their own direction after that. I have read that one book after I watched the show. And I gotta say, the book is very, very disturbing in a lot of ways. They really toned Joe down a little bit in the book. But yeah, it was a book, then turned to a show. And I got onto it pretty late. I think it was season 3 was on, or it was about to premiere, because You was really at its prime when it was in those first 3 seasons. And, you know, I just am not the hugest fan of, you know, following the villain, right? Of being the biggest protagonist. After this show, now I'm all about it. It really intrigues me to follow the antagonist, to make them still likable, that you're willing to follow them, but yet you know they do dastardly things. It's very, very intriguing. It's even something that I do within my writing as well now. It's crazy how, you know, one piece of art can really change your perspective on everything. But yeah, you know, Netflix sent those notifications, right? Saying, we think you will like. And, you know, it was being a little flirt with me. It says, we think you will like You. I was like, you know what? I do like me. And a lot of people have been telling me I should watch this show. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll click on the show. And I watched it. Yeah, I fell in love with it. I liked season 1. I think season 2 is still the best season out of all 5 of them. Season 3 is within that bronze. I would think that maybe the ranking goes 2, 1, 3, and then 5, and then 4 at the very bottom. And after season 3, on my review for that, which is on the channel, you can look that up, is that I did say, hey, we probably have 2 more seasons left with this. And then we got to season 4, and I was like, yeah, maybe one more. Maybe one more. It does seem like it's starting to lose its steam. And now here we are at the end, and I will say, overall, I do think this was a destination season as opposed to a journey season. Because I overall wasn't the hugest fan of the story that was being told. Now, granted, I did have my own ideas for what the story is, what the story could have been. And, you know, I thought, you know, hey, maybe we should go left. And the creator's like, no, we're going right. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I'm not going to criticize a show just because they didn't do what I was expecting. That's not fair, and that's really just, well, it's just not necessary because I wasn't in the writer's room to begin with, right? And, you know, I gave it a shot overall, but, you know, I let the day sit in to really sit with me. But at the end of the day, I just really couldn't fully get on board with Bronte being the one, you know, being the final girl, if you will. Now, we will be talking openly about spoilers. So if you want to step away, if you want someone who's not going to give any spoilers whatsoever, this isn't going to be the video for you, so go ahead and click away. Maybe check out another video of mine and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate you. Finish the show, then come on back and then watch for my full analysis here. And if you want my non-spoilers, go to my TikTok at Lemon Reviews and you will get that. But in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... we will be talking openly about spoilers. So with Bronte being the one to get Joe Goldberg, right? And there has been a lot of discussions on how he should end. I have always been in the camp of, and again, you can look at my other videos if you want clarification for this, is that he should be in jail. He cannot die. That's an easy way out for him. And they do play that within this, in the final episode as well, how he's like, please kill me, I can't go to jail. Please kill me, please kill me, please kill me. I want to die, I want to die, I want to die. I would rather die than go to jail. Because he needs to be in his own box. That's where it all started, is that he was in the cage, and he needs to be in the cage to finish it off because he's put so many people in the cage. It's been there the whole entire time. He had to be in jail. And he does get into that. I love the whole final scene with him sitting there. I do kind of wish there was no narration on it. In fact, the whole entire final sequence, I didn't need Bronte narrating everything that was happening. I just think there would have been a nice thing like, hey, he has been beaten. He can't give any explanation for it. And we're just going to see where everyone's at. Like, oh, look, Kate's still alive. Oh, look, she bought Marianne's painting. I think there was something much more interesting within that. And again, him just being in jail. And then, he receives the fan mail. But I did like the last monologue where he's going, yep, now I get fan mail. People love me about what they want me to do to them, and how it really paints it back at us. Maybe the problem isn't me. Maybe the problem is you. I really, really enjoyed that final line and the way it cut off. Great, great finale. I just wasn't the hugest fan of how he got there, because I wasn't the hugest fan of Bronte as a character. The actress did fine. She did good for what she was given, and she did what the story was set out to do. I'm not going to dog her on that whatsoever. But I also just don't get why Joe would even fall for her whatsoever. I honestly kind of wish she was made up. I thought she was made up for the first 5 episodes because it just made no sense whatsoever. It was just only him and her talking. That was it. It was always in Mooney's. It was, no other people are around. And we all know from season 4, he can make he has a very elaborate imagination with all these other characters coming in. Dr. Nikki having a kid, all these other different things. Well, he didn't know he was Dr. Nikki's kid at the time. But, we had all these different things. But no, it turns out she's real. Once Kate finds out that, that he is having an affair, which I do have my own problems with. Because the premiere of this season, to me, was your straight every season premiere from 2 to 5. Oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. This is not me, and I'm going to be a different person. It's going to be blah, 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 blah. And then he does something that he always does, and then we're off for the races. But Kate sends him to kill that guy. And also Kate knows about his past. Granted, not fully. But then when, when she sees how much he enjoys it, yeah, that's very scary. But she wasn't going to divorce him. She was going to try to make it work. And she was going to be trying to, control it, if you will. Once she sees him cheat, then it's like, no, you're a horrible person. I'm going to take you down to the ground. Granted, at first she was just like, hey, we're just going to get a divorce. But no, then she was all about, nope, it's all about trying to get even at this point. Which, I get, no, hell have no fear like a woman scorned. But still, that was just a little bit like, what are you doing, Kate? You knew this going in. I don't know why. I don't have that much sympathy for you. Now, I will say, from season 4 to season 5, Kate really grew on me quite a bit. Wasn't the hugest fan of her. That's honestly kind of an ongoing issue that I have when it comes to you. Besides love, which I'm team love supremacy all the way through. He's always talking about, I never had a girl that accepted me for me. You did, dude. You did, and you freaking killed her. But, I wasn't the hugest fan of Beck. I wasn't. I was just like, dude, you're so infatuated with her. And granted, she is beautiful, but she's really not that good of a person. She just wasn't. I know a lot of people love Beck. To me, I personally would have, had a few dates, probably realized what I got myself into, or, probably dated her for a good while. And then once I realized who she was, probably would have just moved on, right? Season 2 with Love, yeah, I probably would have stayed with her. I really did love Love quite a bit. In season 3, I did like Marianne, but again, season 3 is a little bit down. Like I said, it's in 3rd place. And then, season 4 with Kate and everyone else, I was like, dude, stalk Lady Phoebe. She's the GOAT. Loved Lady Phoebe. Besides her, didn't really care for anyone else within the season. And then this with, crap, I already forgot her name. Bronte. Yeah, that was it. With Bronte, I just wasn't ever really feeling her. Like, how she was always like going behind his back, always going through all these different things, will always lie to him, blah, 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 blah. And then we get to episode 6 where everything's explained, which the structure of episode 6, which, sure is very much exposition heavy, but I did need it to really understand Bronte. But with the whole interrogation, I really feel like the cops would have picked up the speed a little bit. Like, look, we don't need to know what happened 4 months ago. Just tell us what happened tonight. But no, I need to know, you needed that other cop to be like, can you please get on with the story instead of just being really, really invested within it. But, that whole explanation was really good. I did not care for Bronte's friends whatsoever, or whatever her real name was. Was it Leslie? Was her real name Leslie? Because they were so annoying in a way that they are right. Like that's the weird part when it comes to her friends, because I just did not like them whatsoever. Is that they are very right about Joe, but they are so obsessed with this story that to the point where it is very annoying. Like, you know, if she wants out, she wants out. You can't just force her to stay in within it and all that, and this obsession within it. And I don't know if there was some commentary that they were trying to touch on within that, because please comment and let me know if you thought her friends were just as annoying as I thought they were, because I did not care for them whatsoever. But also, again, everything with that obsession, if it was just, you know, in his head for the most part, then sure, like, and it always stayed within Mooney's, then cool, or whatever. But I was intrigued with the other storyline with Kate, with the whole family dynamic. I kind of wish that was the way that we went, that Kate is so power hungry and she does become ruthless like her father. And we could really connect season 4 to season 5. And all the family members start to disappear. It's always constant headline news. And then that's when you bring in the other people. Because we do get the other people within this episode. We do see the couple from season 3. It was nice to see them again. We do get to see Paco again. I don't know how Paco is just not in it. I don't know if he moved after season 1. I didn't do a rewatch of the whole entire series, but it was nice to see him again. I really thought we would get a scene with them within the show. The child, even though the final scene that he has with him, and he goes, "You were wrong, Dad. There was a monster in my room, and it was you." That was really good. That was a really good spot. But I do feel like he was more. I mean, I hate to say he was just a plot device, because, you know, every character's a plot device. But yeah, like it did feel like that he was just a plot device within it. But, you know, him going after every family member one by one, hunting them down. Kate is in support of it, and then bringing them back in. And, you know, there's like a whole trial because one of them does sue, and we are in court, and we are bringing in these other people, and someone is onto Joe. I just think there was something much more there, because I really did like the Maddie and Reagan character with the twins. And, you know, this actress who plays her, we saw her in Pitch Perfect, and we're like, man, she's great. And then, you know, she did some other work around, but man, if this one doesn't open up more opportunities for her, because she really knocked it out of the park. She was phenomenal in this season with playing the difference between Reagan and Maddie, and then like really getting us to really sympathize with Maddie quite a bit. Which honestly, I wouldn't have mind if, you know, maybe he got infatuated with Maddie in a way, you know, like if we would have kept it within the family and those dynamics and those, maybe I'm singing a much better tune within this season. But this whole other thing, we're like, okay, now we're gonna go to a whole other girl, and this is the one who's going to get him. Because when we got to episode 9 within the show, and it was Kate and it was Nadia, you know, we bring in Nadia out. Oh, here comes Marianne. Here comes all the girls from the past. I do think we probably should have dropped the money to get Jenna Ortega within this show as well, because I do think she was a pretty, again, from the best season, she was a really integral character. And also Joe was supposed to be taking care of her, and he just wasn't. he just wasn't. And I do think, you know, all these survivors from the path of Joe Goldberg coming together to take him down in Mooney's, and he's in the cage. I thought that was chef's kiss for a great finale, but we had one more episode. Because that whole last sequence between Kate and Joe, like, I didn't mind, you know, it's a tie. Kate's the one who gets him, but they both go out in the process. Till death do us part. Oh, loved it. But then we had one more episode where, you know, they run away, they're in this cabin, and, you know, it was fine. I did like the idea of the whole final episode, you know, minus when the cops come out. It's just the lovers, you know, Joe being obsessed with this girl and the girl knowing who it was. I did like that. Didn't really care for her monologues that much either. I kind of wish we kept it to just Joe. I know we did it with Beck. I don't think we did it with Love. I know we didn't do it with Marianne or Kate, but again, maybe that's just part of me just not really liking the character of Bronte that well. But yeah, you know, I do think we probably should have capped this at 9, and overall maybe we probably should have capped this at 3 seasons, because again, 4 to me was a little bit of a chore, and then 5 wasn't necessarily a chore. I was still very, very much engaged throughout the season. I just wasn't loving it as much I would have liked to love it. And I just think there was other opportunities for other stories. And I also, again, you know, not to continue to beat a dead horse, that Bronte is the one that catches him and sends him to jail. I do think that was Kate's spot. Again, I think episode 9 was a great finale point, especially with bringing everyone back and they're facing him. And that's probably the only way that I would have been okay with him dying is if he died in the cage, in Mooney's, and the house was burning. I thought that was a great setting. But I am glad that he is in jail. I am glad with, where everyone ended up for it. And again, I do wish there was kind of no monologue when, when we are seeing where everyone's at right now. It was a much better supporting cast than season 4. Not my favorite supporting cast. Probably my third favorite supporting cast. I liked Teddy quite a bit. I liked Maddie. Kate really grew on me. And it was great seeing some of the other characters that we knew pretty well. And there was some amazing cinematography within this whatsoever. But yeah, at the end of the day, I love where we ended up. I just wasn't a fan of the journey of how we got there, which again, I go back to my point of this was a destination season and not a journey. But yeah, if I had to rank the seasons, it goes 4 at the bottom for sure. And then probably here at 5, 3 in the middle, and then 1, and then 2 at the very top, where I really do think they were hitting everything on all cylinders. But yeah, I am thankful for the show. It has been great entertainment. I have enjoyed it quite a bit. I loved it. I like the ending quite a bit. I am hoping all these actors get more work moving forward, and we get more opportunities, and we continue to see them on the screen, whether it be a small screen or a big screen. But yeah, leave a like, and if you made it this far within the review, I do greatly appreciate it. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on the final season and you as a whole. And of course, hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.